9mm. Extremely popular cartridge for obvious reasons. It's inexpensive, and a modern semi-automatic firearm like a Glock or a Springfield XD series firearm can carry a ton of these things. So if you're not mastered shot placement, you can put a lot of these downrange. And there's a big debate. Is it all about shot placement or is it about capacity? And you can have those debates all day long. For me though, and my philosophy of use is Tennessee Hoplite. This is, pretty much used as a backup caliber for me and a backup cartridge. I use a Kel-Tec PF9. I always use a Ruger LCP, which is a 380, which is nothing but a short 9mm. And those are my pocket pistols as a backup pistol. I carry those quite often. But when you think about the 9mm, long before the 9mm was even thought of really in that type of a cartridge, we had the 45 Long Colt. Let's put this guy side by side. We'll see the 45, and I say Long Colt. Long Colt's not truly the designation of the cartridge. The 45 Colt cartridge was actually designed in the 1870s. And during that time, you had a 44 caliber. You also had a 50 caliber that was used quite often in the Remington model 1871s. And that was a single shot pistol. But it was also a cap and ball revolver was popular at the time too. And they could use these cartridges in those cap and ball revolvers. It was easy to convert them. So this was a very popular cartridge at the time and was used for many, many years. When we start thinking about the 1890s and the early 20th century, especially during the Philippine-American War, during the Moor Rebellion, there was a lot of issues with the current cartridges of the time. You had the 38 Long Colt. You also had the British using the 303. You had the 3040 Krag, if I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, that was used during that war. And the problem they all had, even the development of the dum-dum bullet, which was used by the British, because they had to have something that would stop people, and they had problems stopping people. So they went back to a lot of the manufacturers, said we need a pistol cartridge that will stop people, and the 45 ACP was born. Through many testings through the early 1900s and through 1910, the last working model pistol that was used during those trials became known as the Venerable Colt 1911. And this is a very popular pistol to this day. Either you love them or you hate them. It's a fantastic shooting pistol. Love it to death. But generally for me, it's too heavy for carry. And when I think about a pistol like this, especially one that's solid metal all the way through, I can get a much lighter pistol and say a Glock 21, which is a polymer frame pistol, which is a 45 caliber as well, and I still have much higher capacity than this guy and carry in a very well designed pistol. So I'm more of a Glock person in this way. But many years ago you had a company named Taurus, and Taurus, either you love them or you hate them. I have no animosity towards them. They have a very good warranty. I have no issues with Taurus pistols. I've owned many of them. They developed a revolver called the Judge. And the Judge was a unique design because it allowed you to shoot a 45 Colt or a 410 shotgun shell. This is the PDX-1 from Winchester. It has 3 copper plates in it and then a bunch of steel BBs in it. It's pretty wicked. So shooting metal discs and BBs at people, it's pretty ugly stuff. Sorry for the iPhone there. But very popular gun, revolver, and very neat. One of the things that people talk to me a lot is, look, I can't afford to spend hundreds of dollars on a firearm. Is there anything I can get that's inexpensive, reliable, and really I'm just looking for something for basic home self-defense. Personally, if you're looking for something for basic home self-defense, the first weapon you should buy is a shotgun. That's just me. If you don't have a shotgun and you're looking for something in a pistol, then let's think about maybe something else. And that brings me to Ducktown, Tennessee. In Ducktown, Tennessee, there is a company called Leinad, and Leinad is Daniel spelled backwards, and they make something called the Model D. And the Model D is a Derringer that shoots a 45 Colt or a 410 shotgun shell. They make many different models of that firearm. They make a single firearm there, single barrel, and this is literally you put your cartridge into this firearm and it's a single action only. It's very difficult to reload, so it's pretty much a one-shot wonder. When I say it's difficult to reload this weapon, you have a safety here, and this safety, to actuate the safety, you're going to pull the hammer back about halfway. It's pulled that way now, and you'll actuate the safety from this side. So I'm just going to pull this back a little bit, and you'll see I push that through. See the indentation. To actually charge the firearm, I have to pull this back again and push this down. And I have to push this down flush with the firearm. So I'm going to keep pushing here. And once you get that flush, actually a little less than flush, actually indented a little bit, you can then pull this back. There's a piece on each side. Pull those straight back, then you can break open the break barrel action on the firearm. And this will take your 410 shot shell, or it will take your 45 long Colt. So this is a single shot deal for personal protection, something to fit in your pocket. This is actually a pretty cool option, and I say it's a pretty cool option because this can be purchased for $100, under $100 if you find them used. So pretty interesting little pistol. They also make other models. They make a double barrel over model. The same design for the most part. The way the firearm works is you have a switch. If you switch it to the right side, it is going to fire the top chamber. If you switch it to the left side, it will fire the bottom chamber. So you can literally put the 45 Colt in the bottom and the shot shell on the top. So you could, have this configured however you want. Be great for snakes. Be great as a bear gun if you're out camping. Just to have some little something with you. So they're heavy. They are made of, you can see it's rough steel. This is not a pretty gun. You can see the weld marks in the firearm. It's purely utilitarian. I've heard people say that if you don't keep them oiled up, and do basic maintenance on the firearm, that they will rust on you. But it's a very cool firearm. I have to say. I think I dig them. And if you can find them, if you can put your hands on them, actually they're really hard to get your hands on. It was hard for me to find them, even though I live in Tennessee. Doing some basic research, it's really hard to find even research about them. I mean, Ducktown's about 60 miles east of Chattanooga, and apparently the company has went through quite a few different incarnations. There's been family disputes, squabbles, divorces, things of that nature. These guns go under the moniker of Cobra, I believe FMJ, there's a couple of other ones, and they're always kind of stamped onto the gun. Leinad also made some Mac 11 clones. They make shotguns like this as well. That basically is the same type of firearm, same action, same rough, utilitarian design, but in a much longer barrel with a fold-out stock. So you basically have a very small, portable, over-under 410 shotgun. They do a lot of really odd kind of designs, and I guess that's what kind of intrigued me about them. But for the price point, if you're looking for a poor man's Judge, I think this is a good option for you. It is single action only, so that is one of the, which you would really not expect anything different in a Derringer. So hammer goes back, that's all it's going to be used for. And then once again, to load it, I'm going to pull the hammer back about halfway, get it into that safety position. It's going to have to catch there. And then once that happens, I once again have to depress this, pull back, then I can break it open and charge the firearm. So not something you're going to be loading quickly, but that's not really what Derringers are known for anyway. So just thought I'd do a quick little review on these Leinads. This is the Model D, this is the Model UD, and both of these are 45 410 shot shell firearms. So this is Tennessee Hoplite, and hopefully this was beneficial to you. Just kind of wanted to show these to you. Have a good one.